say about this man, Max Hollis? 10 minutes is far too short to do a proper documentary on this man. However, 10 minutes is all I have, so I suppose I'll just have to give you a rough outline of him in this video. I guess the best place to start is from when I first met the man. I first met him in St. Aloysius grade school in Spokane. It was kindergarten. I remember he was definitely different than the rest of the students there, and everyone knew it. Different though. What do you say? However, different. By that, he meant he was destined for greatness. The first prominent sign of this was when he was about a fifth grader and he built energy fuel cell cars. He was actually disqualified in a competition because his went too fast. A few years later, he started attending Gonzaga Preparatory School, where he began his journey of setting the world on fire, or at least the G-Prep community for the time being. In his early years at Prep, he was satisfied with his job helping his family at the restaurant Churchill's Steakhouse. However, he knew he was capable of more. He started his business, Computer Sense Northwest, where he and his small group of co-workers, mainly him and Jason Scriver, would help the prep community with their computer needs and troubles, and with excellent customer service and a more than fair price. Even though he was very proud of this company and knew it would be going far in the world, he decided to start a little business on the side just for fun and just to help out the community. He created Alice Imports. These products included pens, keyboards, and other quality items at low prices. However, he has moved ownership of the company to his younger brother, Dutch Hollis, an amazing man as well. At a young age, he has already shown such promise and great intentions for the future. It is certain he will go far, but only time will tell how far. Many people have heard this tale before this side of Max Hollis already, but perhaps now may be the time to discuss some more light-hearted things about this man. For one thing, he survived a moose attack at his house when he was merely in middle school. What a brave man. Anyways, Max is a family man. He is also a hard worker, but remembers to save time to spend time with friends. He is often compared to Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. He, however, sees himself mostly in the personas that are Monk, the beloved TV character, and the man behind the suit, Tony Stark. He is also an enormous Adam Sandler fan. Besides being an innovator in the business world, he's also done work in local politics. He was the campaign manager for Adrian Ulrich in the 2013 ASB president election. But most importantly of all, he is a pure classicist and detests romanticism with a passion. Max is an unforgettable person and has touched the lives of many. Here are some interviews from people who know this legend of a man. Then we'll get to watch an interview with the man himself.
Sir.
Yes. How are
Yeah.
you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing pretty great.
That's great. Now, do you know Mr. Max Hollis?
Oh, yes. I remember the first time I met him. It was last year, and he was in my chemistry class. He transferred. He gave me a ride home once. It's pretty nice. And he's a brilliant man.
Thank you for your time.
No problem.
Sir. What? Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
All right. One of the first words come to mind, we hear Max Hollis.
Innovator. But most of all, anti-romanticist.
Well put.
It is.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
So where the first words come to mind, we hear Max Hollis.
Dr. Sheldon Cooper.
I see. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Hello, Max Hollis.
Good afternoon, Joey.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. All right. Who is Max Hollis?
Max Hollis is the sort of man who's not afraid to set out in sight of greatness.
Enough said. When did you decide to become the businessman,
Well,
as some
Joey,
refer to you?
I've always been known as the businessman because I've always had great aspirations for business.
Where does work ethic come from?
Well, I've always had this drive, but mainly it comes from my desire to be the big cheese one day. I want to own an extremely successful business and make sure that my children will never have to work a day in their lives.
Now, do you have any role models for this goal? Anyone that you aspire to?
I do. There are two people. First of all, my father, a ruthless businessman. Second of all, the character known as Tony Stark from Iron Man.
I see. Some good role models.
Absolutely.
Now, when did this whole thing start? What was your first business?
Well, I began my career in sight of what else but money. I opened up a lawn mowing business. After that, I began designing posters for different events, followed by jobs that I took up in Canada, Curlew, Washington, Spokane, leading up to my own Computer Sense Northwest, a computer consulting company.
I see. Now, what's the story behind Computer Sense Northwest?
Well, in the summer of 2012, I woke up one day and I asked myself, where am I going to find the money to purchase the new Retina MacBook Pro? And I realized it's not like I'm going to just get a job and work all summer for it. I got to do something interesting. What have I always wanted to do? I've always wanted to start a business. But when was the time to accomplish this goal? I had an inspiration. That inspiration told me the time is now and that I can't wait on life.
What is your favorite part about your business? What's been the most successful part about it?
Well, the most successful part has got to be my pen sales. We purchased imprinted stylus pens, and in the course of 3 days, we made $200, the most significant product boost that we've had throughout the entire year of doing business.
Where do you see this business 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I don't see this business going terribly far. It could be a hobby of sorts. I see it as a gateway into the experience of accomplishing new and better businesses.
So this is sort of like just a stepping stone for you to get your feet wet.
Absolutely.
per se.
This business is a time-consuming business. We charge hourly rates, and I'm not going to be able to spend all of my time working at this business if I want to accomplish a greater goal.
See. Well, now we talk about your business. Let's talk about some other stuff, shall we?
Absolutely.
All right. I understand you are designing an app for the school.
I am.
And
And what will this app do?
Well, this application will display the school's daily announcements. It will have an ASB forums page so that students can get in contact with the student body. It will have a grades window so that you don't have to go through various links to see your progress in school. It will have the student handbook so that the school can save money on the hardbacks. And it will also have a voting system so that people don't have to create Twitter accounts to vote for said Matthew Kincannon.
He did very well in that talent show.
He did. It was remarkable.
Let's see. Do you hope to sponsor him someday?
Absolutely.
That's
In
great.
fact, I was the man who offered Matthew Kincannon his first monetary set of edit this out. I messed up. I gave Matthew his first offer on one of his paintings. Matthew refused because he had dedicated it to his parents. But I see him going far in his creative writing, illustrations, and anywhere that life may end up taking him.
So you're not only a businessman, but you support the arts.
I support the arts of Matthew Kincannon and Matthew Kincannon alone.
So the arts that are worthwhile. That is.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, we've talked about your business and who you are, but perhaps our viewers like to view some little fun and perhaps. You okay with that?
Oh, absolutely. I have the perfect story for you.
You knew I was going to ask about a story. Wow, that's good.
It all started when I flew into Canada. I was greeted by the customs agent, and I proceeded to travel through the airport in search of my uncle who was there to pick me up. It all started when a cab driver approached me at the airport. He said in a very thick accent, "Looks." I replied no, because I couldn't understand what he was saying. I traveled for about 20-30 minutes throughout the airport waiting for my uncle to arrive. The guy had been following me. He then proceeded to ask me, "Looks." I said yes, realizing that he was saying my name. He then replied, "I knew it," and walked off. My uncle arrived at the airport just minutes later. This was the first traumatic event I incurred in Canada, Joey.
Now, I might do a follow-up story about your tragedy in Canada. Well, thank you for your time.
Joey, the pleasure is all mine.